Good afternoon and welcome to Liquid Lunch with the Regional Water Authority. I'm Kevin Watsey and I'm the resident water nerd here at 103.5 WNHH. If this is your first time listening to Liquid Lunch, the rules are simple. Go grab yourself a big old glass of tap water, sit back, and enjoy your liquid lunch. On this week's show, we're actually going to return to the topic of water. Our last few shows, we've done community-based shows. One was on Arts and Ideas Festival. Another, we had the awesome mayor of Hamden on. But this week, we're going to return to talk about water with my guest, Dana Boshin. She is the Customer Care Director for the RWA. And Dana and I are going to spend the next 30 to 45 minutes talking about frequently asked questions that we get at the water company. We have folks calling us every day asking questions. You start to realize a pattern. So we have frequently asked questions. So we hope you enjoy this. But first, we're going to let Dana start the show the way we always do with the segment I like to call Origin Story or Tell Us Your Story. So Dana, welcome to the show. And how did you become Director of Customer Care? What was your path to the RWA?
I really appreciate being here, Kevin. Thanks. I actually have over 20 years in the utility sector. So started with electric and gas, and in 2015 joined Regional Water Authority, originally as the Business Transformation Manager. So focused on process improvements, technology, enabling business improvement. And over the last couple of years, I think it's late 22, actually became the Director of Customer Care. Feel real privileged to join that department at Regional. A lot of very talented and knowledgeable people, many years of experience, and it's a great opportunity to really serve the customers in the greater New Haven area.
Okay, so this isn't a frequently asked question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. So you've been in electric, you've been in gas, now you're at water. I think a lot of people assume a utility is a utility, right? So what would you say is the biggest difference between working for an electric company, a gas company, and a water company?
Wow. The size of the bill. So I think
Water's the smallest, right?
Water is the smallest.
Yes.
I actually think one of the great things I really love about water, especially here at Regional, and you touched on this in your intro, is the environmental and community aspect. I think that resonates with most utilities, but in a water company, the fact that, to use our tagline, right, it's water for life. It's actually people ingesting your product, which is a little different than the reliance on, for your internet or your heating. It's different. And the pride and the community effort within the company just have that very different sort of resonance to it than my experiences at electric or gas. So.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I've been with water utilities for almost 20 years, and it's just that, no matter what company I've been at, but especially at the RWA, it's that common purpose, right? To get water to people's homes, to make sure that water is safe to drink, and to make sure that it's always flowing.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the single goal of everybody.
Absolutely.
So I agree with your answer. So before we jump into the frequently asked questions, I wanted to ask you a couple of things. So this week or last week, depending on when you're listening to this, we sent out our summer newsletter at the RWA called Waterlines, and the top article in there was about this new customer information system that the RWA is working on. So it will be coming into reality later this year, and more to come on that. We will be communicating greatly on that, but I wanted to spend a few minutes kind of talking to you about it at a high level. First of all, I said it's a new customer information system. What is a customer information system, and why should our listeners and our customers care that we are getting a new one?
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about this, actually. Yeah. The customer information system is sort of the heart of the RWA's interface with the customer. So it holds all of our customer account information. It is the billing engine, so it is the tool that helps us get the reads out of the meters that are in customers' homes, translate that into an actual bill, and then, of course, makes all that customer information available to us when customers call with their inquiries. It also serves as the basis for all of the self-service information for our customers when they're accessing their account through our portals. But it's really sort of the heartbeat of the billing and the billing engine, and that touch point, if you think about a bill, it's the one touch point we have with every customer every month. And it has to be accurate, it has to be right. And this tool is new, modern, and we're really excited to bring it.
So you just kind of hit on it, but I'll ask, so why are we changing? Why are we getting a new,
Yeah.
and I'll call it CIS, Customer Information
Yeah.
System. Why is the RWA getting a new CIS system?
Yeah, it actually was some significant strategizing and research before we undertook this project. The current customer information system was originally implemented in 2009, and that technology is dated. It's 15 plus years old, and we're really looking for a way to bring the services and the interfaces with our customer into the 21st century. We really wanted to make sure that we had modern security, modern user interfaces for our employees, and of course expanding our customer portal offerings for to meet those higher levels of expectations from customers. You know, when you can get, you know, blow by blow of the Amazon delivery from the point
Right.
that you order it to the picture on your doorstep, there's just a whole new level of customer expectation. And we really feel we can do better by our customers in terms of being able to deliver that kind of experience. And so these tools will help us do that.
So when it does launch later this year, what can customers expect? Can you kind of talk about a couple of the cooler changes that folks can expect out there?
Sure. I mentioned it. Our customer portal, I think, is one of the certainly the most customer facing, or one of the most customer facing changes that people will see. We're going to expand our offerings there. So now, instead of just having your ability to do electronic billing or electronic payment, we're going to start offering service appointments. You can make your service appointments online. Payments will now be real time or near real time for our customers. So instead of sort of overnight processing, could take a couple of days. Now it'll all be real time visible on your account when you're using those electronic payment methods. And I think one of the other really exciting things is some of the new chat features that we're looking at bringing. So we'll have on our website some of these frequently asked questions, and you'll be able to sort of get real quick information right on our website just by talking to a very user-friendly chatbot that will be able to answer some of your basic account and customer questions that we get. So I'm really excited to make some of those more streamlined and simple ways for our customers to interact with us.
But this is not replacing our customer care
Oh gosh,
center, correct?
no,
I just want to be
they are
clear.
irreplaceable. No,
You know,
yeah, no, absolutely.
Sometimes
Still,
folks will hear like, "Oh, we're getting this new chat feature," and they think that we're, getting rid of humans, but that is not the
never.
case.
Yeah, no.
I think one of the cool things that I know about it is it also greatly expands how customers can pay their bill, as far as like you'll be able to pay by text,
Yep.
or with Alexa or things like that.
Venmo, PayPal.
Venmo.
Yep.
And also, if you're somebody who likes to pay in person, and correct me if I'm wrong, the list of locations you can pay in person is going to go from about 20 to a couple thousand, right?
Yes, absolutely. I think today we have about 15 or so, and some of our areas are a little underserved in that capacity, but this will exponentially grow, as you mentioned, to over thousands.
Yeah, so more to come on that. Be on the lookout in your mail and your email, and the many other ways on the news that we're going to communicate with our customers about when this launches. It's exciting. I know everybody inside the RWA is really excited. We have teams that have been dedicated to this project for the better part of a year and a half now. And it's all about improving our customer service and how we relate to our customers. So more to come on that. But thank you for talking a little bit about that. So let's start talking about some frequently asked questions. A question I get more than I expect to get is a pretty easy one, which is when customers call our customer care center, the folks that answer the phone, where are they?
They're sitting right here in New Haven.
Yes.
So right at our primary offices on 90 Sergeant Drive. This is our employees are local. We live and work here.
And I guess I get it, because there's so much outsourcing going on in the world that I think people are surprised to hear when you call the RWA, 90 Sergeant Drive.
That's right.
People are there answering your calls.
Absolutely.
Many of those folks are customers.
Yes. the vast
So
majority.
they understand better than a lot of people what kind of questions you're going to ask, and they empathize with you sometimes.
yes.
So now that we've knocked that one out of the way, what are, I kind of wrote down a list of some of the most frequent types of calls we get. So I'd like to kind of walk you through some of those and then talk about the reasons, So for instance, we get a lot of calls about high water bills. If I call your fine folks in customer care because my water bill is high, can you walk through some of the reasons why my water bill might be high?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, certainly one of the primary reasons, especially with this heat that we're experiencing, is just a natural increase in consumption.
Shocker, you're using more water,
right? You
right?
just actually use more water. Maybe it's the extra shower
Yes.
because it's hot,
And
or
usage can actually go up. Sorry to interrupt,
Yeah,
but
that's
usage can actually go up 30 to 40% in the summer months,
Yes.
and I just don't think people have an appreciation for that, or an appreciation for how much water sprinkler systems
Yes,
use.
actually, that was just going to
Yeah.
be my other example. Absolutely. So we're using sprinkler systems, not just now for our waters, but for watering our lawn, but also we're playing in the sprinklers.
Yep.
We're filling the small pool, maybe putting more water into our larger pools. If you're in grounds or above grounds, you're going to maybe refill that a little bit more with all the evaporation going on. So it's really seasonal billing, just as we're talking about with summer, that consumption naturally goes higher. Not always very intuitive, right? Because it's sort of, it's innocuous. It's the water. We
Right.
turn on the tap and it's there and we use it. So that's one of the primary reasons. I think also sometimes, some of the things we go through with our customers when we're trying to help them understand their consumption. Did you have family visiting? Are the kids are home from college now, so maybe you've got
Right.
more sort of occupants in the home. Some of those little things, and of course we'll also go into did you check your toilets, or perhaps there's a leaking condition or something like that. And we actually can look at some of our automated meter reading data and walk our customers through some of their portal options. Again, they can see that consumption as well. And we're looking to make sure that at some point during the day, your water consumption goes to zero, which would indicate no
Right.
leaks, as opposed to something that maybe has a low flow all the time would lead us to suggest that we could send you some dye tabs or show you how to test that your meter stops running when you're using different types of appliances and faucets, outlets, things like that.
So let's dissect that a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So customers and the water company have the ability to pretty much real time see water going through their meter through a project that the RWA did 10 years ago. Was AMI?
Actually, it was as
it-
oh my gosh, I guess it's that long already. Yeah,
Was
so
it about
about
10
20. Yeah, between 2016 and 2020.
Okay, so yeah.
we completed most of that.
Automated metering infrastructure,
Yeah.
AMI, and that allows us on the water company side to look at your account and see whether your water meter is registering usage.
Mhm.
But guess what? If you have an account with our customer portal,
Yeah.
customers can go on and look at
They
that
can look
themselves,
at it
right?
themselves and see that maybe there's lawn watering going on early in the day, or the kids come home from school in the afternoon and consumption goes up.
And many water meters also have a little built-in leak detector, right? A little needle, so that if you're confident that all of your faucets are turned off in your house, you can go look at your water meter, and if it's spinning,
So it's still
there's water going
That's
through
right.
there.
Yeah.
You had mentioned toilets,
Mhm.
and this is one of my favorite little hacks in life, is to see if you have a leaky toilet, which in my experience, that is the number one place for
It
leaks.
absolutely is.
And I think people would be astonished if they knew how much water could go through a toilet that you would never even notice.
It is, and it really does add up because it's near constant. when
It's
that's
near
happening.
constant. So
Yeah.
so here's what you do. Here's the big secret out there. You don't even need a dye tablet. You can take some food dye, you can take some coffee grounds.
I haven't heard.
Yeah, coffee grounds. And you put it into the tank of the toilet, wait 3 or 4 minutes, and if the water in the bowl is whatever color you put in that tank, your toilet's leaking. Probably need to get that flap fixed, and it costs you less than $10, and it could save you a couple $100 a month
Absolutely.
in your water bill. So Yeah, leaks is a big reason why folks have a water bill.
Yes.
A question I get to related to water bills, a lot of folks say, well, my meter's broken. Do meters break? I mean, is that a real cause of high water bills?
I can't say they never break, but they're really not the reason usually for high water bills. If anything, over time, meters can tend to register low.
So
They're
slow
mechanical.
down.
They start to slow down. They're really not going to be a reason for a high bill. But certainly, meter tests are available on customer request if they need them. But we really try to encourage looking at, as you mentioned, your internal consumption and usage, and we do try to walk customers through those options.
Yep, so that if you're out there listening and you think your water bill is higher than it should be, there's some of the reasons why it could be higher than it should be. More likely than not, you either have a leak or it's just summertime and your 5-minute shower is now a 10-minute shower, because who doesn't like a nice long shower in the summertime? Another frequently asked question we get at the water company is, my water is discolored. It's not crystal clear. Can you walk through some of the reasons why a customer may have discolored water?
Yeah, so really discoloration is just some of the naturally occurring minerals in the pipes over time. And especially in high consumption periods like summer, we tend to see more discolored water because, again, the volume of water going through the distribution system can sometimes disrupt that. Also could be a result of flushing. So flushing is a normal process within the water distribution system to ensure that there's no stale water in the system, and doing some different cleanup things. Even work on the pipes. So when the distribution teams are out there and fixing a leak within the distribution system, that can also disrupt some of those mineral deposits and cause discoloration. So really, we encourage customers to let the water run, and it should clear up. But we do encourage people, when they're experiencing it, to call us, because then we can make sure that we understand where that might be happening and assure that it's attributed to a known cause, and help our distribution folks make sure that they address any potential issue there.
Yeah, that's such an important point that you reach out to us, because that could be the difference between us knowing whether there's an internal plumbing problem in your house. If you're the only one who called us,
Right.
or if you and all of your neighbors call us, then we know we have
Where that area.
we have an issue with discolored water. And when we say discolored water, I think the most common color of discolored water is kind of like a brownish, like iced tea kind of thing, and that's iron.
Yes.
Right. So whether it's the iron that's in the water that we're taking out of the wells, or the pipes, a lot of the pipes, they'll oxidize over time, and that iron will, those iron minerals will settle to the bottom of the pipe. And as like Dana said, with more usage, faster flow through the pipes, it kind of stirs it up. I would add too, you talked about, I would say, illegal hydrant use.
Yes.
And if you're listening at home or in the car, you may be wondering, how can you illegally use a hydrant? Well, only certain folks are allowed to use hydrants at certain times. Firefighters are allowed to use them when they're putting out a fire, right? Or during training. Our folks obviously are allowed to use them when we need them, but there are a lot of bad actors out there who will try and get free water out of our hydrants to fill tanker trucks, maintenance vehicles, and if you don't know how to properly operate a hydrant, you can create water hammer. You can close it the wrong way, and that will just send a ripple through the system and cause discolored water, right?
Yeah, it could also affect pressure and flow for customers surrounding
Yes.
that area.
And it could cause
yeah,
a main break
Absolutely.
if you don't know how to close a hydrant the right way.
It's more dangerous than probably people
Yes.
might recognize. So,
Yeah, so that's
Thank you for
discolored
bringing that
water. I would also encourage, if you're getting discolored water that's anything other than that iced tea color, definitely call us. Also take note of whether it's just the hot water or the hot and cold water,
yes.
right? Because if it's just the hot water, Dana, what do you think?
It's within the home.
It's within the home. It's probably the hot water
Yes.
heater, right? Yeah. Okay, so we've talked about high bills and discolored water. Now I'm a customer and I have no water. Why don't I have any water, Dana?
Well, there could be a few reasons for that. Generally, I would say most of the time it's probably we could be doing work in the area. So normally our construction folks will leave door tags to let people know when their water system might be disrupted because we're working in the area, so they might not have water for a period while that work's being done. The other could be a collections shut. So there are, we know customers who struggle with some of their bill payments, and shutting their water is one of those reasons. So certainly if you're
It's kind of last resort.
it
though,
is
right?
absolute
Yes.
last resort. Yes, thank you. We do significant amounts of noticing and letters, phone calls, emails. We really try to take every effort to contact those customers and help them bring their accounts current. And shutting is absolutely
Yeah.
one of the last.
So if, and I don't know, you don't have to give me exact numbers, but if I'm struggling to pay my water bill and I miss a payment,
Mhm.
and I miss a couple of payments, let's say, how long before that first missed payment and my water possibly getting shut off? Like,
So customers are technically eligible for shut after 60 days.
60 days.
Rough.
so that's the earliest.
That's the earliest, and it's from a missed from the first missed payment, so the due date. We really do, as I said, kind of make it a last resort, and really, if it's one or two, you'll receive shut notices, but we're really trying to get you to call us and help make arrangements. We can put you in touch with assistance programs. It's really trying to encourage some outreach from that customer so that we can try to find a way to help them bring their accounts current. Offering arrangements and trying to really help prevent that shut in the first place. So really,
Yeah.
if you receive those notices, please reach out.
And let me be clear, no water company likes turning customers off. It's not something we like to do. We try, like Dana said, we will try every way we possibly can to get a hold of you and to help you. It's actually a great segue because another one of my frequently asked questions is about payment plans, assistance. So, yeah, I like hypotheticals, and I'm always the one I put myself in there. So now I'm a customer who has struggled. Maybe I lost my job and I can't pay that water bill, and I do call and I say, Dana, I just can't do it. How can you help me so that I don't get my water turned off?
Yeah. Well, really, I encourage customers to call us as early as possible when they're having trouble. What becomes challenging is when water bills get into the thousands of dollars, and there's no payments, no effort. It becomes harder to provide a variety of options to make those payments affordable for the customer to come back to current. So the earlier you can reach out to us and make those arrangements, the easier it will be for us to help you bring your account current. But really, when you call, we'll work with you. So I would encourage you to make sure you call us before you get shut. So when you're getting those outbound calls and the emails, really as soon as possible, or even as soon as you receive your bill and you know that you're not going to be able to make that payment, or you need even an extra week or two, those are the times that we have the most flexibility and the easiest options of trying to help you. Really, that's really where the most options for assistance come in. We also offer our own assistance program called Dollar Energy. We partner with some community agencies to offer that. And of course, there's federal funding that can be made available on a yearly basis. And so when those are available, certainly there's community agencies that we can put you in touch with as well.
So there are plans out there. We can kind of spread it out over a long period of time. There are, again, programs that will help you pay portions of your bill.
Yes.
The key is you have to tell us, though.
Yes.
Because without you, the customer, calling us to let us know, we're just going to assume you're not paying your
Just
water
not
bill.
paying, exactly.
And that's how you get your water shut off for that. And again, I can't say it enough. We hate turning people's water off. Because everybody needs water, but it also costs us, time and money to turn people's water on and off constantly.
Yeah.
So it's not something we like to do. It's something we try to avoid doing. We will work with you.
Yes.
That's the lesson of this portion of the show. We will work with you. And if you are just joining the show, you're listening to Liquid Lunch with the Regional Water Authority, and today we're talking about frequently asked questions of the water company with Dana Boshin, who is the Director of Customer Care at the RWA. Another frequently asked question is, I'm either moving to the area or moving out of the area. What do I do?
Well, if you're a homeowner, so you're buying a home in the area, we actually work with through the closing process. So when you're working with your attorneys through the purchase and sale of the home, that's when we make the account adjustments for you. So the attorney will give us the information about the buyer and the seller, and we take care of that through that process. And all of those, any outstanding water bill would be handled through the closing costs. If you're a tenant and you're moving in and renting, typically that would be handled through your landlord. So some landlords prefer to receive the bill directly, and we just bill the landlord. Perhaps it's included in your rent. But otherwise, some landlords can opt to have the tenant receive the bill, and that would still be coordinated with the landlord themselves. So we're always working with the property owners, management companies to get the account into the right person's name.
So if everything goes right and I'm buying a house, I don't ever have to call the RWA to set up an account.
Nope.
It's all handled through the closing process.
Yes, it would all be handled through closing.
Great. Believe it or not,
But
I
we
did
still
not know
go
that.
sign up for the portal.
Sign up
You
for the
should still
portal.
go
We're
sign
going
up
to
for
keep pushing the portal because the portal, there's so much great information on
Yes.
there, and it's only going to get better when we get our new CIS program. So another question is, what if I have water quality questions? Just about the chemistry of the water. Can I call your folks for that as well?
Yeah, I think I'm going to pause a little bit on chemistry of the water.
Okay.
But yeah, I think general water quality questions, understanding sort of basics of our distribution system, where your water's coming from, that kind of a thing. Our team can help you for sure. If you really wanted to get into some of the, if you have questions about treatment or a specific water quality issue, we have a great team of water quality folks, and I think Tom Barger, I think you had on the
former
show
guest,
just a few weeks ago, and so much knowledge and information in that group, and they can actually help answer with some of the more complex, I'll call them, chemistry questions. But if you just have a basic question about the water coming into your home, our team can help and or direct you to the right person if it gets a little bit more technical in terms of the chemistry.
Yeah, and that's what I was getting at, right? So no matter what your question is, how technical it is, you can always call us and we will get you to the right person. I think this is a good time, too, to pass along the fact that you don't have to call us. We also have email, correct?
Do.
And what is the email address?
It's ask.billing@rwater.com.
And so folks that email ask.billing@rwater.com, they will get a response. That email is sent to the correct department. So if you do have a question about how much chlorine's in the water, that will go to someone in my friend Tom's department, and Tom will answer that for you.
Yeah.
So we talked about it a little bit about flushing. We get a lot of questions. Why are you guys opening fire hydrants and wasting water? So let's talk a little bit more about flushing. We're not wasting water, right? So we're doing what I used to call spring cleaning.
Yes.
Cleaning the system. And that really gets back to the discolored water. So a good flushing program actually helps prevent discolored water, correct?
Yes, it helps keep that flow, especially in areas where maybe there's some lower usage within the distribution system. So again, it helps keep those pipes clean, helps to make sure that fresh water is always circulating throughout, and really is part of our water quality and management practices, right? We really need to make sure, and it's our entire objective to get the best quality water throughout the distribution system, and flushing is one of the key ways they do that.
Yep. And I will add, we recently purchased a machine called the No-Des machine, and that allows us to flush without wasting water because basically we hook it up to a hydrant, the water comes out of the hydrant, goes into this machine that filters it, and then we hook the other end up to another hydrant, puts it right back into the system, nicely filtered. So, that's another way the RWA is really trying to, be a good steward of water and not waste any more water than we have to.
Absolutely. We're very fortunate in this area that we generally have a good amount in supply of water. We don't have some of the drought restrictions you might find when you get out into out west and things like that. And really, but that conservation and that environmental focus is always top on RWA's priority list. So.
Yep. Another question, a lot of our customers are concerned about safety. There's always stories out there about utility imposters, folks showing up at your door pretending to be with the electric company, the gas company, the water company. How can our customers ensure that the person showing up at their door saying they're from the RWA is actually from the RWA?
Yeah, that's a great question. Again, always a concern. Our employees will always show a badge. You can always ask to see that. They should always be wearing RWA logoed material, or, clothing items. But really, that badge and readily producing an RWA employee badge would be the primary ask I would have of any customer who has a concern about who they're talking to.
And I think it's pretty rare that somebody from the RWA is just going to show up at your door without prior knowledge, and that would probably be as if there's some kind of an emergency in the area, main break, and we have to shut the main down, something like that.
Yes, and really, to your point, at that point, it's really notification to the customer that there's something going on in the area. Very rarely will they need to enter the home in those types of situations, and we really do try to schedule appointments for any time that we know we need to enter the customer's home. It will be very rare, as you point out, that they need access.
Actually, I wanted to ask you another question about leaks. If I wanted somebody from the RWA to come to my house and see if I have a leak, will somebody come help me at my house?
Yeah, give us a call. Our team can help set that up. Depending on the circumstances, there may or may not be a nominal charge for that, but yes, we will absolutely do leak tests for you. Leak inspection, sorry. I call it a leak inspection.
There you go, leak inspection. So at the beginning, we talked about water being the lowest bill. How much is water?
About a penny a gallon, I think.
A penny a gallon, that's right. So think about this, ladies and gentlemen. It's about a penny a gallon for us to take water out of a place like Saltonstall or Lake Whitney and treat it and get it to your house for about a penny a gallon, as opposed to the $2 or more that you're paying for 16 ounces of Aquafina or Dasani. And our water, I talked a little bit about this with Tom Berger, our water is tested multiple times a day, 100,000 times a year to ensure its safety, all for about a penny a gallon. It's a pretty good deal, isn't it?
It's an excellent deal. So refill those refillable water bottles.
Yes, get your refillable water bottles. Use them. It's the best deal going out there today. The average bill is $65 a month.
Yeah. We typically say about 50 to 60.
50 to
it depends
60.
on a variety of things, but 50 to 60.
It's much lower than that Comcast bill, that Verizon bill, which are all choices, by the way.
That's right, actually.
Yeah. I was just at a community event maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I was stunned by the number of people who came up to me and asked me why we switched to monthly billing. We are 2 years past monthly billing now?
Yes, 2021.
But let's have this conversation.
Sure.
Because it's still something people are asking about.
We
so
get that question.
Why did we switch to monthly billing?
We really were trying to make it as simple as possible for customers from a budgeting perspective. Most bills customers pay are monthly. Again, go back to any of your utilities, your mortgage, or rental payments. Monthly is the way that most people think of bills. And if you're only getting a bill every 3 months, it's easy to forget. And so we really wanted to try to be more in cycle with what customers how they plan their month and their expenditures. Additionally, I think really while it sort of nets out the same, right? 3 months versus 1 month. On a 1 month bill, that's a little easier for some customers to afford than 3 months at one time. So if you're going to talk about a $60 bill instead of a $180 bill, that monthly bill can be something more manageable for customers generally. So not only do you get the monthly reminder and in cycle with all of your normal bill payment processes, but again, it's a much more affordable bill on a monthly basis than trying to do it on a quarterly basis. And so it was really for those reasons that we felt it was easier for our customers to swap from quarterly to monthly.
And I would add, so it's not a primary reason, but it is a reason. It really is a best practice of water utilities, and I'm going to tie this back to our leak talk. Hypothetical scenario: we read your water meter on, I don't know, June 1st, and on June 2nd, that flapper in your toilet starts to disintegrate and you've got a leak. And if your only way of knowing you have a leak is to get a bill, it's going to be 3 months before you know that
Before
leak
you even know
exists.
it's there.
So it's unintentionally, it's kind of a leak detection system to
Yes.
get a monthly bill rather than a quarterly bill where, your bill could be $1,000 when you get it in the
By the time
fall.
that 3 months comes,
Yeah.
absolutely, and definitely more of a conservation effort as well, not just for the leaks, but also when you're more conscious of what you're using because it's in front of you every month. Yeah, there's sort of that side benefit, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. One of my old water companies in New Jersey was regulated by the state, and the state made them switch to monthly for that reason,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
of that environmental leak detection benefit of it all. So let me ask you this: are there questions that I haven't asked you that we get a lot that you think folks might be interested in?
I think one of the ones that we didn't really touch on, and feel like I'm harping on the portal, but I
Yeah.
really do want to say that oftentimes customers are not sure how to sign up for the portal, or they might have a question about how to make a payment. There are some assistance help topics on the portal itself online, but also our team can assist with that as well. Again, it's just if you haven't signed up for the portal, it's really just your account number and if the service area zip code, and you can register. And then really from within there, it's very easy to go find payments, billing history. Everything is in a nice menu to the left. So those are really kind of some of the things we handle a lot, which is also one of the reasons I'm excited about our new portal, because it is more user friendly than the current one. Again, I still think it's easy to use because I look at it all the time. But for customers, I think that really would be sort of the other frequent question we get. How do I use this to make a payment or establish auto pay? And we often walk our customers through that when they call.
Yeah, we love helping customers help themselves.
Yes.
Why is it important for customers, or rephrase it, why is it important for the water company to have up-to-date email addresses and phone numbers for customers?
Yeah, thanks. So really it is obviously there are times we need to outreach to customers. So we mentioned collections, but that is one of the least exciting reasons, right, that we want to do that. But we actually offer e-billing. We do outbound calling when there's some sort of a disruption within the system. We use those outbound phone numbers and emails that customers provide us to do outreach. And we like to keep them up to date about things. Like I said, if we're doing an e-bill promotion, which we've done recently.
We've given away
auto
iPads.
pay, yes. So, we really want to make sure that customers are aware of goings on at the water company, things to do with their account or their bill, keeping that information up to date with us, either by calling and having us update the information on your account, or using our portal and updating your information there. We'll just make sure that we can outreach to you when it's necessary. Again, and there are times when we have, a discolored water event or something like that we want to notify people so they can take appropriate action.
Yeah, it's so important. I'll put my communications hat on. Even we talked about flushing. If we're going to be flushing in an area, we will send out, we use a system called Code Red. We'll send out a Code Red call to all the phone numbers within that area we have on file, alerting them to what's going on, so that you don't need to call us because we've already called you.
That's right.
And I believe, we'll be able to text in the new system. So having cell phone numbers is going to be very important. And then emails, again, we'd love to be able to email you stuff.
Yes.
I had another question and I forgot it. But yeah, so it's really good for us to have folks most up-to-date information. Oh, I remember what I wanted to ask you about. Why should I sign up for AutoPay?
Well, as an auto pay addict.
So actually, let's explain what AutoPay is first, and then convince me to sign up.
Yeah, AutoPay is the ability to establish a payment type or payment, credit card, checking account on our portal, so that every time your bill comes in, you can just have it paid automatically right out of your chosen payment method. It takes away the extra thought process of I need to write a check, I need to, sort of plan this payment or get online to make a one-time payment, which we do have available for those customers who prefer it. But as I said, I'm a bit of an auto pay addict myself. I love the simplicity of knowing that bill is going to get paid. I know I can go into the portal to take a look at my bill and get notifications before the bill comes out.
So we're not just taking money out of your account.
No,
You'll know.
You'll know.
Yeah.
And those are all options as well within our portal. You can choose which types of notifications you want to receive. So when did the bill arrive? When is the auto pay scheduled? And those are some options you have within the auto pay setup as well. Do you want to pay it as soon as the bill comes in? Do you want to pay it, 5 days after the bill comes in? So you can make those choices when it's, I'll say, convenient and within timely payment for the water bill. It just it takes that extra thought process as a fan of auto pay. It's easy to know that that's going to happen.
And it's safe and secure,
And
correct?
Absolutely.
And it's very secure.
That is probably the most important.
Yes, you should not feel any anxiety about it. It is a safe, secure process, and as Dana said, you'll get notifications before we do it, after we do it, if those are the notifications you want, and it just relieves the anxiety of having to pay that bill manually. So those are some frequently asked questions of the water company. I hope folks enjoyed that. We're going to move on to a newer segment of 5 unrelated questions. I could call this frequently asked questions by me of nobody else. This is just a way to get to know our guests better. It's 5 unrelated questions about our guests, and I'll start with Dana. Do you have any pets?
I do. We actually have 3 cats at home, Whiskey, Tango, and Sierra. So they're all, one is about a year old, the other 2 are brother, sister, about 2.5. So yeah, they're.
Do you have any cops in the family or military, Whiskey, Tango?
Yeah, no. Yeah. Well, other than no, not officially, okay. But I do have a husband and son who are very, who love all that stuff.
Who love all
that
that stuff.
So yeah, that is exactly how we came up with them.
So 3 cats.
3
Are
cats.
just like any specific breed, or are they just kind of like
just all
alley
domestic.
cats?
I have one
domestic?
tiger, a tiger, tiger stripe. So
Yeah? Nice.
he's very vocal. But yeah, no, just always thought of myself as a dog person. I grew up with dogs, but work schedules, kids schedules, cats offer a little more flexibility than a dog. So.
Yeah, I could spend the next hour talking about how cats are better than dogs. You don't have to wake up at 4 in the morning in the middle of January and take your cat for a walk.
Yes. I'm sure most cat owners would counter that with the litter box cleaning, but yes.
I would much rather clean a litter box.
I'm with you.
I have 1 cat. Who is your favorite musician or band?
So, at the risk of dating myself, Duran, absolute favorite for decades now. Really, I'll listen to anything though. I love everything from country, rock, pop, you name it. But my all-time favorite, Duran.
How many times have you seen him in concert?
Oh, too many. I don't know if it's too many. Probably about 6 or 7.
6 or 7?
Yeah, and looking forward to some shows a little bit later this year. They're coming into the area, so.
So I think I've told you this, and I've mentioned it on the show a couple times. I used to work backstage at a concert venue, worked Duran concerts many times, and I can tell you, I've told you, Simon Le Bon is one of the nicest people backstage.
It's so good to hear,
Yes.
because I don't know him personally, obviously. I have not had that opportunity.
I have his autograph that says, "With love, Simon," with a big heart. And I think I also told you that he has a weird obsession with hot sauces.
Yes, you did.
Yes. So that's Duran, and they're terrific in concert. Either way, like a band, I'm not saying they're old, but they're older, but they still sound fantastic.
They really do, yeah.
And it's amazing what they do. What is your favorite hobby?
So little on the unique side. Actually, my favorite hobby is drag racing. So this is straight line, 1/8 mile, 1/4 mile racing. Fortunate enough to actually drive the car myself. So I have what's called a dragster. So picture the big tires in the back, long, skinny, little tires in the front. Been doing that, racing on my, my own car since about 2009. But it's been a family hobby for as long as I can remember. My father, my mother, both drivers. My kids actually raced what's called junior dragsters, but it's a huge family hobby for us. Spend most weekends at the racetrack with my family doing what we love. So.
Do you travel do you go to tracks all up and down the East Coast, or is it kind of around where you live?
A little bit, yeah. So it depends. Yes, we have been to New Hampshire, as far up north in New Hampshire, as far south as Delaware, Maryland, and some of the Pennsylvania tracks as well. So just kind of depends. There's some different, I'll call them leagues or event types that you can go to. I'm afforded a little bit more opportunity to travel now because we've changed home tracks. So I have a little more freer of a schedule, so we get to travel a little bit more.
And how fast do you go?
So
On
right
average?
now I'm doing the 8th mile at about 150 miles an hour in 4.5 seconds, 4.6 seconds.
For those of you that don't know, the Eagles wrote Life in the Fast Lane about Dana and her family. So when I first met Dana and she told me about this hobby, I think over the last year or so I've probably spent 3 or 4 hours just learning about it because it's just fascinating. It's a world I didn't know existed, and now I'm just fascinated by it. Now we come to what I think is the most controversial question I ask: cookies, brownies, or ice cream?
This is super hard because I'm assuming I can't pick all three.
You can't. You got life's about choices.
I am going to go with brownies.
Brownies.
No nuts.
No. 100% agree. Thank you. I just made brownies this weekend.
Did you?
With Oreos in them.
Ooh,
I
see,
decided
but you're
to throw
mixing up
some
the
more.
cookie thing. See?
Yeah.
Because if I could put some ice cream on that brownie, I'd be really happy.
Yeah. I'm a brownie guy too,
Yeah,
but I decided to mix it up and throw some Oreos in there. My wife liked them. My wife did not like them. My daughter did like them. Yeah, she thought they were too sweet. They were a
Is
little
there
too
such a
sweet.
thing?
Yeah. And our last question, who was your favorite teacher in school and why?
This is a tough one. I actually was one of those really nerdy kids who liked school and liked my
Me too.
teachers. So I had several favorites, but one that really stood out for me was Miss Wade. She was my senior English comp teacher, and really encouraged me into the path that I am now, which is sort of, again, I actually have a degree in marketing, and really her encouragement and support for writing, editing, telling a story really resonated with me, and I ended up in this path of marketing, and then moving into this area where I get to sort of bring that aspect of how to better serve customers, and bringing all of that sort of into one package. So I don't know, she just really had a great style about her in terms of being encouraging and providing constructive criticism in a way that probably a skill that not all of us have.
Yeah,
so
that's
I
true.
really appreciated her.
Did you go to school here in Connecticut, or?
I did. I actually went to Newington High, so I lived there for many, many years, and now working here in New Haven.
And was Miss Wade in Newington?
She was the Newington
Okay,
High School.
so if Miss Wade is still
She's
with us and
probably retired.
probably retired,
Yeah.
well, we'll give her a shout out anyway.
Yes.
You know, I started asking this question on our last show, and I'm going to keep asking because teachers are just so important, and I don't think they realize how much they can affect lives. So I wanted to give folks a chance to talk about their teachers and how their teachers may have affected their lives. So, Miss Wade, if you're out there from Newington and listening, or if anybody knows Miss Wade, tell her that Dana appreciates everything she's done.
Thank you.
And with that, we're going to call an end to Liquid Lunch with the Regional Water Authority today. I do want to thank everybody for listening. And if you take one thing away from today's show, it's that Dana and her excellent team of customer care reps are there waiting to answer your questions. You can call us. By the way, real quick, time. So when can they call?
So we're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and our emergencies 24/7.
Right. So Monday through Friday, you can call us normal business hours. If you have non-emergency questions, if you have an emergency, you can call us anytime.
Yep.
They're standing by waiting. They have the answers you need. There's no question, even if you think your question is silly, there's no silly questions. So, Dana, thank you very much for joining us. I hope everybody out there enjoyed the show, and we will close the show by raising our glass of water and having a toast. Cheers to staying informed and hydrated and engaged with your